The Joe Rogan Experience.
Our communities, it's all over the place on YouTube, but because of this current pandemic, they feel like there's this heightened sense of responsibility that they have to control the narrative. And that's very disturbing to me. And what's even more disturbing to me is how people, when they agree with that narrative, don't understand where this all goes, and they're agreeing with that censorship. They're like, yes, censor those people, get rid of those voices, deplatform people that I disagree with, and they don't understand where this goes. It's like where people are saying, the people that have been vaccinated, that want a vaccine passport. Yes, we should have a vaccine passport. I've been vaccinated. That's not going to. It's only going to help me.
Yeah.
I did my part. I took one for the team, and I went out and got vaccinated to be a good citizen. Those people who didn't, fuck them. We should have a vaccine passport.
Makes zero sense.
But here's the problem with it: the vaccine passport, it doesn't end there. It's going to keep going, and it's going to lead to some sort of a social system. You're going to have a social credit system similar to what they have in China.
You think it'll happen in our lifetime?
100%.
You're saying 100%?
100% it can happen in our lifetime.
Are you okay with that?
No.
Okay, so then
100% can happen in our lifetime because people will step with it. They will go as long as it benefits them and as long as it aligns with their ideology. They will ignore the dangers of a social credit system and they will embrace it.
Yeah.
If I would never thought people would be. Look, 6 months ago, the White House was saying there's no way we would ever use some sort of a vaccine mandate. There's no way.
But Kamala said I would never take the vaccine that Trump's coming.
So did Biden.
Yeah, both of them said that. Yeah.
Yeah, they both did.
Yeah.
But then once they got into office 6 months ago, they said we would never use a mandate. We would never try to force businesses or people to be vaccinated. Now they are saying that. Now they want you to do that. Did you see that video where they're talking about, Biden's talking about the hurricane?
No.
Have you ever seen this?
No.
Have you seen that, Jamie? Here, I'll say the one where the kid's laughing. Here, I'll send you this one because this is the funniest one. Because these guys were watching them say this, and as these guys are watching them say this, it's just funny. Here, I'm going to send you this. Hold on, give me 1 second. It's
hurricane.
Yeah,
Biden.
he's telling them they should get vaccinated before the hurricane comes.
It's obviously a joke, right?
No, it's not a joke. He's being dead serious. But you got to watch this. I just sent it to you, Jamie. Let's watch it. We'll watch it on the screen. We'll have a nice laugh. Because it's not that you shouldn't get vaccinated. That's not what I'm saying. It's just like the narrative is so overwhelming that it applies to everything now. It applies to the fucking hurricane. Play this. Give me some volume.
In a state where hurricanes often strike,
look at these two guys,
like Florida or the Gulf Coast or into Texas, a vital part of preparing for hurricane season is to get vaccinated now. Everything is more complicated if you're not vaccinated and a hurricane or natural disaster hits.
Dude, how the hell does that make any sense, though? Okay, so
people are just stepping in line.
You're not saying don't take the vaccine. That's not what you're saying.
I think a lot of people should take the vaccine.
Okay, so I got a story for you here from my personal end. My dad is 79 years old, okay? Conversation came about the vaccine. He said, are you taking it? I said, I'm not taking it. I was in the Army. In the first day of going into the Army, they give you 11 air shots when you go in. Pss, 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 and you just go through it. Literally. You walk
11 shots in one day?
11 shots in one day, back to back to back. And you say, don't move. If you move a little, you get a scar. I mean, I'll never forget this. I was 18 years old. So I've had plenty of vaccine in myself. It's probably why I'm a little bit off. But so my dad, okay, he says, should I get the vaccine? I said, Dad, it's up to you. What do you want to do? This is Pat. I'm 70-some years old. I said, Dad, if you're 79, do what you want to do. He said, I want to get the vaccine. He said, when I got the vaccine. Great. I didn't get the vaccine. I got COVID. So he ends up getting the vaccine. And 2 weeks ago, he just got his negative back from COVID. He got positive. And he got pneumonia. My dad at 79. And he is okay. He's done. He's scored away. He has nothing to worry about today. Would it have been different if he didn't have the vaccine? I don't know. Okay.
Most likely it would have been.
Most likely it would have been. So I think it made sense that he took the vaccine and it benefited him. A friend of mine, younger than him, my 20 years, in great shape, didn't take the shot. He got vaccine. He got COVID and had pneumonia, was in a hospital for 4 weeks. Literally, he was hospitalized, right? For myself, I didn't take the vaccine. There's a few reasons why I haven't taken the vaccine yet. It's my own reason why I haven't taken the vaccine yet. But the biggest challenge for me is the conversation of being forced to take the vaccine. So Nicki Minaj, I'm sure you're kind of following the story with what's going on with Nicki Minaj.
Her cousin's testicles?
Her cousin's testicles, yeah, in Trinidad. and people are saying, are you kidding me about these testicles? So whether these testicles are just massive or something happened to them or it was because of the vaccine, let's set that aside with the testicles.
I've never heard of testicles swelling as a side effect.
I've heard of other things, but not because of the vaccine. So, okay, so that's that part. All right, so she goes up there and she says, I don't want to take it. On her live, well, Joe, you got to listen to her live. It's so funny because she puts the camera and the camera's at the ceiling. You never see her face. You're just talking. It's alive, right? And she says, let me get this straight because she put it out on Twitter that I got a call from the White House to go and have a meeting at the White House with the health secretary and what do you call it, with Fauci, right? Mm-hmm. Meeting with Fauci. And she said, I would like to come, but I would like it to be live. Instead of me traveling, I'd much rather not travel. Let's do a live. And they say, yeah, we don't mind doing a live. We just don't want it to be recorded. She says, no, I want it to be recorded because I want my audience to see whether this is, so I'm honest with the audience. They said, well, let us think about it. She has her PR rep on it and her agent on the call. So it's not like she's by herself. Then the White House comes back and says, no, we never told you that you're going to be doing this live, right? Because she tweeted us and I got a call from White House. And she says, why can't I have the choice to not do it? Why can I not have the choice? The biggest contradiction for me...
To not do the vaccine?
I don't want to take the vaccine. Mm-hmm. They're forcing her to do it. And, you heard a couple of the folks from, I don't know what it was, when they came out and they said, who was the lady that we were talking about? She said, I got 2 million followers, girl. I'm not at your level with, 22 million followers on Twitter. You can do better, girl. You ought to be ashamed of yourself for doing this because now people are not taking the vaccine.
Who said that to her?
Who's Joy, what's her name?
Joy-Ann Reid?
I think that's who it was.
Yeah.
And so she comes back and she says, just because I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. So why do I have to do it? I may end up doing it because I have to go on tour and I have to do this part. But if you're going to a point, Joe, yourself, where you're talking about 100% this is going to happen in our generation, then I ask you, are you okay with that?
I didn't say 100% it's going to happen. I said 100% it could happen, that we have a social credit score in this country. The same people that are accepting a vaccine passport. My position is I do not believe once the government has the ability to control your movement, what you do, and when you do it, if they can put limitations on your freedom, and that is what it is, that it makes it easier to control people. Once they do that, I do not believe they're going to leave it at a vaccine passport.
I agree with you.
I think they're going to expand it, and I think the next logical move is some sort of a social credit score. And you'll look at a bunch of things. Have you paid your taxes? Are you in debt? Do you owe money on your credit cards? Are you in default of loans? Have you been vaccinated? Have you voted? And all those things.
And who you voted for.
Well, that would be problematic. But all those things could be designed into a social credit program where you could see in a person who has poor social credit, a person who's been to jail for armed robbery, a person who owes taxes, that person would have a lower credit score and they wouldn't be allowed into certain buildings.
Why is this a bad thing?
It's because it's control. It's having the ability to tell people what they can and can't do. Having the government, if you're a free person, you've made mistakes or you're trying to do better in your life, but you've had some horrible scenarios in your past. You're supposed to be free to try to navigate and do better in your life. If you're restricted and very clearly restricted by a set of parameters that's decided by other people that doesn't have to do with law, like it's not like you need to be locked up because you're a criminal. You have a social credit score like they're implementing in China. What it does is it keeps people scared and it keeps people in line. And it's a fantastic way to control the population. And that's what it's used for.
Should we do something about it?
I think talking about it is a good thing. I think talking about it like we're talking about, allowing people to recognize that this is something that could potentially happen.
You think there's
a next step? The vaccine passport just 6 months ago was conspiracy theory nonsense. Like people were like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're not going to have a vaccine passport. No one was accepting the fact that this was real. This is stuff that Alex Jones talked about. But now it's a real thing.
LA and New York,
Yeah, it's a real. Is LA now?
Oh yeah, they just announced it 3 days ago.
Right after Newsom.
Right after Newsom, they announced it the next day.
God,
that's right. The next day they announced it.
How clever. Watch the entire episode for free only on Spotify.